Jacksonville fans, I want to propose a question to you guys. Okay, so we all know that earlier this year, you guys drafted Trevor Lawrence with the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft. Well, here's the thing that is kind of questionable to me, right? If we know Trevor Lawrence is going to be the starter, we all knew the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to take Trevor Lawrence or at least another quarterback with the number 1 overall pick. The big question is, why is Gardner Minshew still in Jacksonville? Gardner Minshew is kind of an odd figure because, I've talked about Jalen Hurts, I've talked about Joe Burrow, I've talked about Kyler Murray and all them. And the thing is, when it comes to Jalen Hurts, people have their doubts about him, yada yada yada, even though he played in a slightly better situation than Gardner Minshew. And then everybody has their pros and cons. Every quarterback that went to a different team this year had their pros and cons. But the thing is, we saw a lot of quarterbacks switch teams this year. We saw Matthew Stafford go from the Lions to the Rams. We saw Teddy Bridgewater go from the Panthers to the Broncos. We saw Dwayne Traskins go from the Redskins, what are they now? The football team, the Washington football team, to the Steelers. And we saw Sam Darnold go from the Jets to the Panthers. And the odd thing about this is, why is Gardner Minshew still in Jacksonville? From the amounts of football content that I've consumed over the past couple of months, I've never heard anything bad about Gardner Minshew. I've never heard people speak ill on him, besides the fact that he didn't win many games. But the truth of the matter is, he's the last quarterback to win a game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I just looked it up. Gardner Minshew is only 25 years of age. He's only 25 years old. And I'm going to do a quick Google search to figure out how old Sam Darnold is. Sam Darnold is 24. Okay, I know Teddy Bridgewater is way older though. Let me see. Teddy Bridgewater should be in his 30s. Oh no, Teddy Bridgewater is 28. Okay, so he's in that age range of like prime young quarterbacks. Joe Burrow is 24, isn't he? So he's only a year older than Joe Burrow. And okay, look. The point of this is, Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback. I mean, he was in an unbelievably shitty situation. Like, he literally was playing on the worst team in America. Like, it's bad. Like, the Jaguars or, the Browns before Baker Mayfield. Like, it's bad there. So, the thing is, he's been playing great, and I did a little bit of research just so I didn't come out blaring out a bunch of unnecessary things. I gotta have a educated opinion, not just a opinion. And the truth of the matter is, Gardner Minshew has more touchdowns, at least last year, more touchdowns, I think even over his career, more touchdowns and less interceptions than Teddy Bridgewater. And Teddy Bridgewater went to a new team and is potentially going to start at some point for that team because of the ups and very, very low downs of Drew Lock. And here's the real kicker. Here's the one that's just like just irreversible damage. Like, it's just unforgivable by the NFL. Gardner Minshew has double the amount of touchdowns than Dwayne Haskins and less interceptions. But Dwayne Haskins, within 2-3 weeks of the football team giving up on him, ends up on the Steelers, which would be a great situation for him, and it's a great situation to rebound if he can. If he can rebound, that will be the place to do it, But the thing is, Gardner Minshew, why isn't he getting the shot? He's a young quarterback. He plays fairly well. I get it. I guess he doesn't have like the arm strength, quote unquote. Like, people might say he doesn't have the arm talent or whatever of like these other quarterbacks that move. But Teddy Bridgewater never had that big of an arm. Dwayne Haskins, I can't even remember why he got drafted. I know he was overhyped. But the thing is, my thing is, hold on, I gotta cough. My thing is, if you're drafted to the NFL, especially if you're drafted above like the 4th round to play quarterback, right? Or if you're drafted at all, if you're in the NFL, you're good enough at whatever you do. You're good enough, unless you're an undrafted free agent or you're a 7th round pick, guy from whatever, right? If you're drafted in the first 3-4 rounds, I don't think Gardner Minshew was, but you're good enough. If you're starting for an NFL team, you're good enough. You might not be the best, you might not be great, but you're at least good enough. So we can talk about arm talent and stuff like that, but that only will separate the good quarterbacks from the great quarterbacks, the great quarterbacks from the elite quarterbacks. I think Gardner Minshew was actually pretty good, and Strong Opinion Sports, what's his name? He goes, Zach Sharmler. He strongly defends Gardner Minshew, and there's a little bit of bias in there because he wants to see the dude do good because they went to the same college type thing, and he met the guy. But besides that, he does spit some facts about how he plays. And the thing is, Gardner Minshew played pretty well. Now his adjusted QBR, adjusted QBR was 50% for his first season and like 60% for a second, which isn't, I guess that's around average. That isn't that good. I didn't really compare it to others, but I just assume on a scale of 1 to 100, if you're in the 50s, 60s, your 50 is average, 60 is above average, and so on and so forth. But his actual QBR, his like QBR, the regular one, not adjusted, is like 80 and 90, which is the same that I saw for Mitchell Trubisky and Andy Dalton, which Andy Dalton is probably going to be starting for the Chicago Bears, and Mitchell Trubisky is the backup quarterback for the Buffalo Bills now. So all these quarterbacks that he's done all as good, or my English is horrible right now. All these quarterbacks that he's done as good as or even better than have moved to a different team and besides Mitchell Trubisky, have the prospect, have the chance to start. But Gardner Minshew is not starting in Jacksonville, and he's still a pretty damn good quarterback. And it's just why he's so he's a starting quarterback. Like you can say he can be above average. He's a starting quarterback, but he's just stuck. He's gonna be a backup, and he's fun to watch. People, Minshew Mania, the little handlebar beard mustache thing. He set the nation on fire. He's a marketable character, so I don't see why nobody wants him. Now, if I'm gonna make some educated guesses on why he stays there, one, he's probably gonna make good money as a backup, this, that, and the third. So I mean, why not stay there, fulfill your contract, then move on? If you feel like no matter where you go, you're going to be a backup, might as well just be a backup for Jacksonville. Then when they don't want you, be a journeyman and make a good bit of money being an NFL journeyman. Okay, cool, that makes sense. Could be, maybe he thinks since he's the veteran, he knows the system more, he might be able to start a couple games with the new and improved Jaguars, maybe win the opening games or two, or come in relief and win a game or two and improve his stock. I really don't. Besides the fact, unless Gardner Minshew has just accepted the fact that he's going to be a career backup, I don't see why he's still in Jacksonville. Or it could be Dwayne Haskins got picked up in the middle of the season, while the season was still going. Gardner Minshew started just about every game for the Jaguars. I think he missed a couple due to injury or something, but he started basically the whole season with the Jaguars, and he probably was injured at the end of the year, if what I'm thinking is true. So teams probably didn't want to pick him up due to injury concerns, or maybe it's because he couldn't be picked up during the mid-season. But the thing is, Mitchell Trubisky was picked up after the season. Teddy Bridgewater was traded after the season. Carson Wentz was traded after the season. All these guys, all but Dwayne Trashkins. I don't know, every theory I have for why he's not on another team has pretty damn realistic answers to it that are pretty open and available. So it's just, I don't understand how Dwayne Haskins, I'm rooting for Dwayne Haskins. I hope after this year he becomes a great quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But as it stands right now, that man is bad. All right, that man is bad, and not only is he bad, he's immature. So so hopefully he becomes a great quarterback. But let's go off of 2021 2020 Dwayne Trashkins. Okay, how the hell is Dwayne Haskins on a new team with a possibility to start within the next year or two, within the next 3 seasons, and Gardner Minshew is not, though he played way better in a worse situation? I don't understand that. Ryan Fitzpatrick is in his 30s and he is on a team gonna start and is gonna be competing for the playoffs, albeit in the worst division in football, which the NFC least. It's still playoff position. Why didn't they pick up Gardner Minshew? I think he would have done just as well. And also, You know, he's 25. You know, he could develop to be even better than what he is now. And I honestly think his style of play is a little similar. Well, from a little bit I watch, I haven't seen a Jaguars game. Okay, don't hold me to this, but from what I see, what they show, his style of play is similar to, you know, Ryan Fitzpatrick, except for Gardner Minshew runs around a little more, because I mean, as a 30-something-year-old man, Ryan Fitzpatrick ain't running side to side, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. Jaguars fans, let me know, is there something that I'm missing out on because I'm not a Jags fan? Why is Gardner Minshew still in Jacksonville? Has he accepted the fact that he's going to be a career backup, even though he can start for some other teams and at least be a bridge quarterback for a number of teams for a number of years? Or is it something else that I'm not seeing? Does he think he can beat out Trevor Lawrence for the quarterback spot? Well, what's going on there? Let me know. Yeah, also support the other content. I'm dropping the Outlast now. I'm playing Outlast 2. Gonna have a Battlefield video coming soon, this, that, and the third, I don't know. But yeah, support the other content. But yeah, alright, I'm out.